unclassified email from Hillary's illegal server. That's a lot of illegality in that one statement. That's just lot after lot. In other words, the State Department was trying to cover up Hillary's crimes of sending classified information on a server our enemies could easily access, which is what we're talking about. This is a criminal act, a conspiracy that included Hillary's deleting and lynching of 33,000 emails. That's only a small percentage. Because frankly, if you didn't do that, you wouldn't even get this guy. But that's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you have the disappearance of 13 iPhones, many of them whacked with a hammer. Who here has gotten rid of your phone and hit it with a hammer? Anybody? How many people? Anybody? Nobody? One? Oh, I want to find out the business that guy's in. But she whacked them, a lot of them with her hammer. Just whacked them. 2 boxes, I don't know if you even know this, 2 boxes of email evidence has gone missing 2 weeks ago. And the destruction of laptops in a secret deal with the FBI. Remember also that Crooked Hillary lied under oath to Congress, saying she had never sent or received classified information on her insecure server. And she pretended not to know that the letter C meant confidential information that was classified. Hillary then told the FBI she couldn't remember 39 times. Bad memory. And then in a written testimony last week under oath, she couldn't remember approximately 21 times. Can anyone believe this stuff? This is... I'll tell you, look, I'll tell you. This is one of the great miscarriages of justice in the history of this country. What's happened to the Department of Justice, what's happened to the FBI is so sad. And you have so many incredible people in justice and in FBI. And they must be absolutely reeling. They probably don't believe themselves what's going on. We're witnessing a criminal enterprise that has turned our government into a vehicle for the Clintons' personal profit at your expense. But it gets worse. It gets worse. The FBI documents that show Undersecretary of State Patrick Kennedy made the request for altering classification as part of a quid pro quo. In other words, a deal. This is felony corruption by any standard, Undersecretary Kennedy needs to resign. I wonder if her mommy and daddy are going to be angry with her. All right, that's okay. Hey, I have to tell you, we haven't had any of this practically. The Bernie supporters had much more energy. They really did. They had a lot more energy. So Clinton and her cronies have sacrificed your security, your family's safety, and your country's safety as though it meant nothing to her at all, which it didn't. This magnitude's worse, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many people in law enforcement. This is worse than Watergate, what's going on with this. And what does she get out of it? She gets to run for the presidency of the United States. Explain that. Explain that. But we're going to put an end to that on November 8th. Yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win. Those polls were great today, but you know, they're also showing there's like an undercurrent that they can't poll. Remember when I was in the primaries? How's he doing in such and such? Well, it looks like he won't win that state. Then the next day, it's like, you win in a landslide. They say, what happened? Now, we'll take it anyway. I mean, this is, I guess, like people don't want to say they're voting for Trump, which is okay. We'll take it any way we get it. Do you agree? We'll take it any way we get it. But there's a big, big undercurrent out there. Another series of emails shows top officials in the Clinton campaign scheming to take massive sums of money from foreign lobbyists. One of the emails from a top Hillary official said, quote, take the money with, and you know what they had, exclamation, exclamation, just take the money. This is money bundled by people registered as lobbyists on behalf of foreign governments. Remember, we're competing in a rigged election. This is a rigged election, folks, okay? And I said it with me. Remember I won Louisiana? I said, oh, how many delegates do I get? And they showed me that my opponents had more than I. I said, wait a minute, what's going on here? I won the state. I went there on a Friday night. We had these massive crowds, great state, and I won the state. So a week later, I'm going over delegates, right? They count. And they're saying, how many? I said, wait a minute. This guy has 18. I have 9. I won the state. No, well, he didn't. No, well, that's the way the system works. I said, well, then it's a rigged system. Didn't they? But you have to say, we figured it out, right? We figured it out. But it is. And Bernie Sanders with his, you know, superdelegates, everything else, Bernie Sanders, I'll bet he wished he didn't endorse her. He would have been something very special in history. But we're not going to let that happen to us, okay? Not to the movement. The media is trying to rig the election by giving credence, and this is so true, by giving credence to false stories that have no validity and make it a front page. They take a story with absolutely nothing that didn't exist, and they put it front page news because they want to poison the minds of the voters. So, well, they really do. I mean, they want to poison the mind. They take things and statements and put it in from 30 years ago, from 20 years ago. By the way, just so you understand, just to be very clear, events that never happened. Just so you do understand that, okay? It's amazing. It's amazing. I think most people do believe me. That's why we are having, and it's in our favor, a backlash like nobody has ever seen before. They're tired. People are tired of it. Front page news, a phone call, front page news. And then it turns out it's false stuff. It's all false stuff. There's a backlash. A very, very prominent person from Wisconsin just left the back room. I said hello to him. And he said, Mr. Trump, I want to thank you. You are taking abuse, the likes of which nobody that has ever run for office has taken. Very prominent person, and I really appreciate it. He might be here someplace. And most importantly, you have your former Miss Wisconsin, right? Your former Miss Wisconsin, who got out of the hospital to be with us. This is one of the greatest people you will ever, who got out of the hospital. Stay out of that hospital, will you? This is an amazing person, an amazing woman. Thank you, darling, for being here. And we have our generals, and we have our sheriff. Nobody gonna mess with our sheriff. Nobody gonna mess with our sheriff. And he was there early when he endorsed Trump. He was there very early when he endorsed. Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate it. Sheriff Clark. And his family, more importantly. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. The media is an extension of the Clinton campaign, as WikiLeaks has proven. And they don't talk about WikiLeaks. They just keep talking about Trump. They want to put nice, sexy headlines up, even though nothing happened, nothing took place, even though it's a total fabrication. They've got to start talking about WikiLeaks. They've got to start talking about the things that are going on. Hillary even got the questions and answered in it. We need some truth. We need truth. We do need truth. You know, to make America great again, we do need some truth from these people, I will tell you. Because they poison the minds of voters. Not everybody understands what's happening, and by the time they do figure it out, it's too late. They're poisoning the minds of voters. Remember this, Hillary even got... All right, get him out. That's okay. Do you notice it's always one at a time? One at a time. By the way, where's Diane Hendricks? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? She's so amazing. One of your great, great successful people. She's an amazing woman, Diane. I know you're here someplace, wherever you are, an amazing woman. Hillary even got the questions and answers in advance of a major debate. How do you do that? And think of it. Nobody made a big deal. Nobody even knows about it. She got the questions in advance to essentially a debate. Can you imagine? No. Can you imagine if Donald Trump got the questions in advance? You know what they'd do? They'd reinvent the electric chair. That's what they'd do. You don't even hear about that. Sheriff, did you ever hear about this? Nobody hears. She got, and by the way, behind you is one of your great football players, folks. Look at this guy. And he is a man of God, I will tell you. Thank you. Thank you. One of the greats. Oh, those championships. I don't know about Green Bay this year, I think. What do you think? They're going to be okay? He says yes, they'll be okay. A new report from the Center of Public Integrity shows that 96% of so-called journalists or reporters who made presidential donations this circle gave their money, gave themselves, gave everything to crooked Hillary Clinton. Can you believe it? They even want to try to rig the election at the polling booths. And believe me, there's a lot going on. You ever hear these people? They say there's nothing going on. People that have died 10 years ago are still voting. Illegal immigrants are voting. I mean, where are the street smarts of some of these politicians? They don't have any, is right. So many cities are corrupt and voter fraud is very, very common. The following information comes straight from Pew Research. Quote, approximately 24 million people, one of every 8 voter registrations in the United States are no longer valid or significantly inaccurate. 1 in 8. More than 1.8 million deceased individuals right now are listed as voters. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, if they're going to vote for me, we'll think about it, right? But I have a feeling they're not going to vote for me. Of the 1.8 million, 1.8 million is voting for somebody else. Approximately 2.75 million people have registrations in more than one state. Do we love our police? Do we love our police? Law enforcement. Law enforcement. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can see they're getting angrier and angrier with everyone. No, because there's such a disturbance, you people. Then there's the issue of illegal immigrants voting. The following comes from a 2014 report from the Washington Post. This article was entitled, Could Non-Citizens Decide the November Election? Here are some excerpts. More than 14% of non-citizens in both 2008 and 2010 samples indicated that they were registered to vote. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Because non-citizens tend to favor Democrats, to put it mildly, Obama won more than 80% of the votes of non-citizens in the 2008 sample. You don't read about this, right? They don't tell you about this. Your politicians don't tell you about this when they tell you how legitimate all of these elections are. They don't want to tell you about this. We find that this participation was large enough to plausibly account for Democratic victories in various close elections, okay? All right? Non-citizen votes could have given Senate Democrats the pivotal 60th vote needed to overcome filibusters in order to pass health care reform and many other reforms and other Obama administration priorities. Now, it continues, it is possible that non-citizen votes were responsible for Obama's 2008 victory in North Carolina. Obama won this state by 14,000 votes, so a turnout by 5.1% of North Carolina's adult citizens, and by the way, we're doing great in North Carolina, I want that. We're going to win North Carolina. But we don't want non-citizen voters, if that's okay. Is that all right to ask for? It could have provided his margin of victory. Our system is also rigged by the donors, giving hundreds of millions of dollars to Hillary Clinton's campaign. And again, I will have spent over $100 million on my campaign. I am controlling myself. I'm working for you, folks. I'm working for you. I'm working for you. Amen. And they're all telling me what a great job and what a big movement. There's never been anything like this in this country. And they all admit it. Even the enemies back there admit it. But if I don't win, it will be the greatest waste of time, energy, and money that I will. Oh, what a waste. What a waste. They all say, it won't be a waste. You'll be in the history books. Let me tell you something, folks. I don't want to be in the, I want to win. If we win, we will do something. We're going to make America great again. That's what we're going to do. The reason Hillary Clinton pushes for job-killing NAFTA or Trans-Pacific Partnership, which you cannot let happen, it's a disaster. And for complete, oh, don't worry, we're building the wall, he says. Build the wall. Who is going to pay for the wall? 100%. By the way, I'm not kidding, 100%. All of these partnerships and for completely open borders. She wants open borders. She wants people to pour across our borders. We won't have a country, folks. Is because her international donors control every single move she makes. If we let the Clinton cartel run this government, history will record that 2017 was the year America lost its independence. So important. We will not let that happen. It is time. It is time to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. This is why I'm proposing a package of ethics reforms to make our government honest once again. When Bill Clinton, who was right about Obamacare 2 weeks ago, by the way, he said it's crazy, came into office, he signed an executive order saying if you work for the White House or a federal agency, you can't lobby the government for 5 years after you leave. But then President Clinton did what the Clintons always do. He rigged the system on his way out, right? Clinton lifted the executive order so Clinton cronies like John Podesta could start raking in cash. So here's what we as a group are announcing tonight. First, I'm going to reinstitute a 5-year ban on all executive branch officials lobbying the government for 5 years after they leave government service. I'm going to ask Congress to pass this ban into law so that it cannot be lifted by executive order, right? Second, I'm going to ask Congress to institute its own 5-year ban on lobbying by former members of Congress and their staffs. It's enough. Third, I'm going to expand the definition of lobbyists so we close all the loopholes that former government officials use by labeling themselves consultants, advisors, all of these different things, and they get away with murder. Not going to happen. Fourth, I'm going to issue a lifetime ban against senior executive branch officials lobbying on behalf of a foreign government. And fifth, I'm going to ask Congress to pass a campaign finance reform that prevents registered foreign lobbyists from raising money in American elections and politics. This will go a long way to ending our government corruption, but we will end economic stagnation also, and that will help. My plan for the economy can be summed up in 3 very beautiful words: jobs, jobs, jobs. Jobs. They're taking our jobs away. They're going to Mexico. They're going all over the place. We're going to keep our companies here, folks. They're not leaving. If they want to leave, there will be consequences. You understand that. And they won't leave. When they hear there's consequences, they're not leaving. Believe me, they're not leaving. Our politicians have worked for years to try and keep our companies. It's so easy. It's so easy. You want to leave, you want to build whatever you want to build. Cars, Ford is leaving. Carrier's leaving. So many companies, there's so many. You know, we lost 70,000 factories. 70,000 factories since the signing of NAFTA. I thought it was a typographical error. I figured maybe 700, maybe 7,000, 70,000 factories. At the center of my jobs plan will be fixing our terrible trade deals. They are horrible. 47 million Americans are in poverty, and 45 million Americans are on, right now, food stamps. We have nearly an $800 billion annual trade deficit in goods with the rest of the world, and the worst so-called recovery by far since the Great Depression. Did you see the jobs numbers the other day? Horrible. You saw our GDP is going to be, in my opinion, less than 1%. You know, if China goes to 7%, 8%, 9%, it's like a national catastrophe. If we're at less than 1%, which is what it will be, it's like, oh, what else? We're not going to put up with it. It's the Clintons who gave us NAFTA. He signed it, remember that. Bill Clinton signed the worst trade deal in the history of the world. And the Clintons who gave us China's entry into the World Trade Organization. Here in Wisconsin, do we love Wisconsin? You know why I'm here? First of all, I have a lot of friends here, but you know why I'm here? I'm here because everyone's calling me. Everyone's calling saying we're going to win Wisconsin. So, okay. It's not so traditional. No, but it's not so traditional for a Republican to be in this position. Mostly they say, well, we'll have to skip Wisconsin. Not me. We're going to win Wisconsin. So companies like Briggs & Stratton has cut thousands of manufacturing jobs and moved them where? To China. GE Healthcare recently closed its Milwaukee location and shipped those jobs to Mexico. Did you know that, Sheriff? They just closed up. That's a lot of jobs they shipped over to Mexico. Johnson Controls shuttered its plants in Milwaukee, and West Allis, and moved the jobs to Mexico, and moved the jobs to China, and moved the jobs all over the place except to here. The list goes on and on. Many, many companies leaving Wisconsin, leaving everywhere. They're leaving our country. We are living through the single greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. It's true. Our companies are being raided. Our jobs are being let go. We end up with unemployment and empty buildings. They end up with cash. Tremendous factories like you've never seen, magnificent plants, jobs all over the place. We end up with, we end up actually with two things, unemployment and drugs. They end up with the cash. We end up with the drugs. Not so good. A Trump administration is going to renegotiate NAFTA, stand up to China, and get along with China. We don't get along with China now, and they rip us off. And stop the jobs from leaving our country. And I do a lot of business with China. I have the largest bank in the world as a tenant in one of my buildings in Manhattan. And China's wonderful. I mean, I wish our people ran our country. I mean, like, they're smart people. They're smart people. We don't have smart people running our country. We have people that are incompetent. We have a president that all he wants to do is campaign for Hillary Clinton so that she can double your health care costs. All he does is campaign. This guy, every time you see him, he's campaigning for Clinton, and frankly, he ought to be working on jobs. He ought to be working on the Second Amendment and the border and all of these different things. He ought to be working on taking care of our veterans, right? And our military. I mean, here's a guy. We go into Mosul. Now, why don't we just go in quietly, right? They used to call it a sneak attack. Let's call it, we want to do it nice and easy. I've been reading about it for 4 months. Now, a primary reason for going in was we wanted to get the leaders of ISIS, right? They're gone, folks. They're gone. They're smart people. They read the same newspapers and articles that we read. They said, hey, they're going to attack Mosul in 4 months. Let's get the hell out of here. They're all over the place. How stupid are our people? Can you imagine the great General George Patton and General MacArthur? I really had a lot of respect. You know what they're doing, right? They're spinning in their grave. And I see we will be attacking sometime next week. I've been reading about this for months. And honestly, a big, big part, I've always heard. And I always used to wonder why they don't go in. But I meant like quietly, boom, right? Surprise. Do you remember they used to call it the element of surprise? Now our element of surprise is in 4 months, we will be attacking Mosul. I wonder what General Flynn, what our generals think about that. Not too good. Not too good. I can tell you what General Flynn thinks of it. As part of our plan to create at least 25 million jobs, in 10 years, we're going to lower our business tax from 35% to 15%. We're going to make our nation rich again. We're going to have great companies. We're going to have great jobs, and jobs are going to start coming back to America. But to be a rich country, we must also be a safe country. National security begins at the border. Speaking in a secret meeting to a foreign bank, Hillary Clinton said her dream is for totally open trade. There go the rest of your jobs. And open borders. There goes your country. Between open trade, your jobs, open borders, your country. So you lost your jobs and your country. Other than that, she's doing a great job. By open trade, she means foreign countries can cheat us out of millions of dollars and millions of jobs. And literally, not millions of dollars, really, it's really trillions and trillions of dollars. By open borders, she means totally unlimited immigration. In a secret speech to Goldman Sachs, she said citizens who want to control immigration are un-American. I don't think so. Deplorable, right? Irredeemable. Irredeemable. He's a deplorable guy. He looks good to me. So Hillary thinks most of the country is either deplorable or irredeemable, un-American, racist, or basement dwellers. That's what she called Bernie Sanders people. Basement dwellers. Oh, Bernie, why did you do it, Bernie? You know, his people are saying, why'd you do it, Bernie? Why'd you do it? Poor Bernie. Now he has a rally and 100 people show up. It's a little sad. He could have left a great mark on history. He won't. Hillary's plan includes, although I think we're going to get a lot of Bernie people, because one of the things Bernie knew is that we were being ripped off on trade. It's a big factor. And we're not only going to make that good, we're going to have a lot of trade, but we're going to make great deals. We're going to have a double highway. We're going to have things coming back to us. Right now, it's a one-way highway out. Hillary's plan includes open borders with the Middle East, meaning generations of radicalism and terrorism spreading and growing within our shores. So let me state this as clearly as I can. If I'm elected president, I am going to keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. He won't even use the term, and neither will she. We will also stop the crisis of illegal immigration. Have to do it. A Trump administration will secure and defend our borders. And yes, we will build the wall that we just talked about, and you will be, you know, when we got the endorsement of all of the Border Patrol agents, 16,500, and ICE last week, ICE endorsed us. ICE. I said to him, so tell me about the wall. I mean, who knows better than these people? They say, we need the wall, Mr. Trump. We need the wall. We're going to stop drugs from pouring into our country and poisoning our youth. They're poisoning our youth and other people, many other people, but they're poisoning our youth before our youth gets a chance to go and make it. They are being poisoned by this garbage that's pouring in from the southern border. The Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, allowed thousands of criminal aliens to be released because their home countries wouldn't take them back. We would bring them. We would have a murderer. We would have a drug lord. We would have the head of gangs and gang members. We'd bring them back to their country. They intelligently said, we don't want them. Take them out. And our guys would say, oh, yes, okay. And Hillary Clinton never forced these criminals back into their own countries where they came from. And I guarantee you, not one time as president will you see that happen. Not one time. There will be no times when we don't take these people and put them into their country where that country's telling us, take them back. We don't want that murderer. That country is taking their people back. There's a reason they're here. If you remember, a long time ago, I said they're forcing some of the people in. Let me tell you, we have some people in this country that are bad dudes. We're getting them out. We're bringing them back to the country they came from, and the country is going to take them. The ICE officers, in their endorsement of me, described Hillary's proposal as, quote, the most radical immigration proposal in United States history. Here is a summary of Hillary's plan. Support totally for sanctuary cities, explained it. Some bad people are getting security in sanctuary cities. Social Security, Medicare, and lifetime welfare for illegal immigrants by making them all citizens. And in many cases, they're being treated better than our great veterans. Remember that. And we're not going to allow it. Obamacare for illegal immigrants. No deportation of visa overstays. Expanding catch and release on the border. You catch them, hey, go ahead, do whatever you want. Catch, it's called catch and release. Expanding President Obama's unconstitutional executive amnesty, including instant work permits for millions of illegal workers. Freeing even more criminal aliens by expanding Obama's non-enforcement directives. And she wants a 550% increase in Syrian refugees to come into this country. And we know nothing about it. And that's over Obama's number. Either we win this election or we lose our country. I mean that. I really believe this is the last time. This is it, folks. This is it. I really believe this is the last shot we have. I sort of felt it last time. This time I don't just feel it, I know it. Under a Trump administration, it's going to be America first. America first. And by the way, that is the most beautiful little girl. Hi, honey. What a beautiful, look how beautiful. Hi. You want to come up and see me? Huh? You want to come up? Come on. Most beautiful little girl. Wow. And she got all decked out for this evening. Wow. So beautiful. Oh, come on. Okay, just no more, though. No more. Come on, bring her. So beautiful.
Hi.
What's your name?
Salamnish.
What?
Salamnish.
Oh, that's say it.
My name's Salamnish.
And you know that where are your parents? Where are your parents? Wow, congratulations. What a job. What a beautiful person you are. Thank you, honey. Come here. Boy, they did a good job. Come on up here. Come on up here. Come on. So beautiful. Look at this.
Hello.
What's your name?
Bronson.
Say.
Bronson.
And you love Wisconsin? Say yes.
Yes.
Hey, isn't that what it's all about, right? Beautiful. Beautiful job, Mom and Dad. We just made two big stars. We made two big stars, two great people. Thank you. Here are some of the amazing things we're going to do for our country starting in 2017. We're going to have one of the biggest job-producing tax cuts in American history. It's going to be amazing. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. We are going to defend religious liberty. We will provide school choice to every low-income child in America. Rebuild our depleted military and take care of our great, great, great veterans. We're going to support the men and women of law enforcement. We will again repeal and replace Obamacare. Here's one very important to Wisconsin. We will save our Second Amendment, which is under siege. And we will appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. You have 22 days to make every dream you've ever dreamed for yourself and your family come true. On November 8th, the arrogance of Washington, D.C. will come face to face with the righteous verdict of the American voter, which is you. I'm going to fight for every citizen of every background from every stretch of this nation. I'm going to fight for every child living in poverty. We have so much poverty in this country, which is so hard to believe. I'm going to fight for every mom who lost her child to illegal immigration and drugs and gang violence. I'm going to fight for every community whose jobs and dreams have been ripped out and shipped to other countries. So many. I'm going to fight for every person in this country who believes government should serve the people, not the donors and special interests. I'm going to fight to bring us all together as Americans. We live in a very divided country. We're not going to live in a divided country much longer. There's going to be spirit. We're going to get along. Imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people, under one God, saluting one American flag. I'll tell you, Wisconsin loves this country. You really do. You people are amazing, amazing. In 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 years, you're going to look back at this rally for the rest of your life. You're going to remember this day. This is a movement like nobody in this country has ever seen before. You're going to look back at this election and say, this is by far the most important vote I've ever cast for anyone at any time. Because once again, we're going to have a government of, by, and for the people. And you will see things start to happen. We are going to make America wealthy again. We are going to make America strong.